Good morning, class. Welcome to science. Last time we talked about the periodic table, and we're going to continue today. Alright guys, we talked about hydrogen and helium last time. Does anyone else remember any of the other elements? Oh, Francesca.
Boron and sulfur.
Yeah, that's good. What about you, Jen?
Carbon and oxygen?
Yeah, perfect. Felix? You okay?
What's an element?
Felix doesn't understand the elements. What can I do to help him learn if he didn't understand last time? Aha!
Alright kids, I'm going to teach you a song about the elements.
There's hydrogen and helium, then lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon everywhere, nitrogen all through the air, with oxygen so you can breathe, and fluorine for your pretty teeth.
Alright kids, let's sing together now. There's hydrogen and helium, lithium, beryllium.
Music and science may be popularly seen as two completely different subject areas, but they supplement each other much better than you might think. As mentioned in the book, Make It Stick, we learn better when the mode of presentation matches the particular style in which an individual is best able to learn. Because this is commonly ignored in the classroom setting, the main blind spot we will be discussing today is the fact that not every student learns the same. We will also explain how music and science can both utilize each other to fix this. Our secondary blind spot is the fact that you can't necessarily teach a subject while completely staying in your own lane of experience. This can be remedied by, for example, utilizing certain sciencey aspects of music to help students learn an instrument.
Now, why should we use music to teach science? Well, music can help us teach children who are not as scientifically inclined, but are more musically inclined. That, and just help us understand in general. As noted in Make It Stick, people do not retain information as well when it is not relevant to them. If they have no relevance, they're not going to remember it. Therefore, we need to make it relevant. We need to make them care. So, we can use music in something like physical science to talk about sound waves or just sound in general and use music as an example. Alternatively, if you're in a biology classroom or teaching anatomy and physiology, you can use music to discuss hearing. So you can use that to discuss how we hear, the different theories on how we identify changes in pitch and frequency, and if the music you're using has a singer and the lyrics, we can discuss how the brain identifies speech. On top of that, we can also use music just in general. There's actually a lot of benefits, like legitimate benefits that aren't the Mozart effect, that can help in the classroom. One such thing being that music releases dopamine and reduces levels of cortisol, and this leads to less stress in the classroom, and dopamine is better for retaining thoughts and memory, therefore leading to a more conducive learning environment.
Buy a Pepsi!
We've already discussed music in the science classroom. On the flip side, science can be used in the music classroom as well to solve our primary blind spot. Some students are more analytically inclined than others. A big part of music, aside from learning the technical things, is transferring what you're feeling into the sound and being creative. To connect with these more analytically inclined students and relate to them in a way that makes them feel excited to learn is something teachers need to strive for. Particularly for students that are very interested in science but are less interested in music, you can get them to be interested by incorporating that interest into the class. Talking about sound waves, going into detail on why different instruments make different noise differently, or even conducting a musical experiment are all ways this can be done. Unfortunately for our education system, interdisciplinary work isn't done as often as it should. As a future educator myself, I see so much merit in making it more prevalent. That said, the other blind spot we looked into is the fact that you can actually benefit as a teacher by utilizing the concept of interdisciplines. Music teachers are actually scientists in their own right. You might respond to that, no, preposterous. Let me prove you wrong. The flute is an instrument that you put together before you play it. When first learning the flute, teachers tend to have the students play only the head joint. When the flute is fully put together, it's harder to play when you're first learning because it requires so much more air than the head joint alone. The same goes for instruments like the clarinet and the saxophone. That's a scientific concept. String players have to be taught about the sizes of the different string instruments early on, and have to be explained why the bass doesn't sound like the violin at all. The size difference is a scientific concept too. As a violinist, I can read this no problem, but I have no idea how to play this without thinking about it really hard. Teaching clefs is like teaching a new language. While not necessarily scientific, it's definitely interdisciplinary. There's more than meets the eye when it comes to music, and the same goes for any other subject area. Teachers of all areas can benefit greatly from interdisciplinary studies.
As we've shown, music and science do in fact work together and complement one another well. Interdisciplinary work creates more opportunities of success and creative thinking patterns. Learning is not a one-size-fits-all endeavor. This is not the case. It can't be the case at all. People all learn differently, and interdisciplinary work helps to alleviate that. Both educators and students alike would benefit greatly from the intertwining of disciplines, especially with music, due to the fact that it would create a more dopamine-filled, positive learning environment, and there would be more creativity and even the potential of noticing blind spots that might have not been otherwise noticed by staying in one's lane of expertise and thinking. In this way, we can create a better educated, more innovative generation.
You can wear my oversized jacket. That's too big for me.
As we've shown, music and science... Cat! No. No! Cat! No!